All right, here's a little update on the truck. I'm out here out in the desert and wanted to take the opportunity to go around the truck real quick and bring you guys an update since I left kind of everything hanging since the last video where it showed that I took out the front steering rack with the rock out on the trail while attending Diesel Dime's night run that he had. Real fun night run. We had a blast and, you know, obviously, like I said, I hit a rock. No big deal. It was just damage. It's part of being off-roading and stuff, but everything is back together and fixed. So let me show you real quick here. In the last video, it showed that this took a rock right here, which pushed into the factory bracket, and then that pushed into the steering rack, which cracked it. I replaced the steering rack, and that went right in. It was pretty straightforward. After I got one from GM, connected and everything, and the truck steered perfectly fine again after replacing it. No big deal. Then took it over to KDM, talked to Gary over there, which has a really good head on his shoulders with like coming up with ideas and everything. Discussed that, you know, I did want to make this stronger, better than the factory setup. And because the factory setup had, if you look back at my old video, has a very thin metal cross member, which didn't offer any type of rigidity. And once the rock impacted, it pushed into that, which then that bracket pushed into the steering rack, which cracked the steering rack. The rock didn't hit the steering rack. The bracket pushed into it, which cracked it. No big deal. So my front bumper skid plate from Dirt King, when they built the truck, does unbolt from the front frame horn. So talking to Gary, we wanted to come up with something, a solution which reinforces this cross member, which he made a nice box section that went across nice and thick. And then he has some bungs that are welded to it, some two bungs, and that disconnects right there. So then you can disconnect the front skid plate bumper setup. On top of that, he made another skid plate because the aluminum factory skid plate obviously was, you know, smashed in, no big deal. It obviously is only, you know, aluminum, not that much of resistance against rocks and everything. So he came up with this thicker plate and he did a little drop box for the differential. Has a hole in there for water to drip out of so it doesn't build up in there. And then he topped it off with some hardware, with some dome washers to make everything look, you know, nicer. And then obviously if it does hit a rock, it's not going to chew up the bolt head and what have you. So that's all back together. Truck is running great. Already had it out once to Glamis for Thanksgiving and had a bunch of fun with it. And, you know, the truck has done really well for what I've wanted it for. It's not, you know, race status suspension, but this Dirt King kit does work really well and does still allow you to have four-wheel drive, which I was very adamant about having four-wheel drive so I could go to different locations that I had on my foresight of what I was trying to accomplish with trips and everything. So the truck has performed great and done everything that I've wanted it to do. Really happy with it. Rides great on the street, handling characteristics and everything. And then take it off-road, air down the tires, and the thing just floats through stuff. One of the other things that I've updated since you last time seen it on YouTube on my update video are these ditch lights. Again, another thing that KDM helped out with, Gary over there. There was a concern because these SDHQ mounts come with a lower mount and then a upper mount that's going to bolt to a factory steel fender, which it's got fiberglass fenders on it. So the bolting locations that it fixed to the bracket goes to the fender are no longer there. He actually came up with a design while he had the fenders off doing my next modification that I'll tell you guys about. He tied a bracket, you know, from the SDHQ to the cab. And so now these things are nice and stout. I don't get any type of vibration or anything like that, which is good. So I'm really happy with that. Again, hats off to Gary over at KDM for helping me out with that. The other thing that I commissioned him to do was to set up my rock lights on the truck. And I didn't want to just stab them, you know, bolt them to just anywhere generic. I wanted to kind of point them in a direction that I wanted. So he came up, we discussed it, and we came up with these mounts right here that he made that hold the Baja Design rock lights. That's the front one that points to suspension. And then here's the other one as well. There's two of them on each front suspension. wheel well area, so that turned out great. And then we also have a set of them underneath the front frame horn that light up the front area too as well. And then over on the back, he did a single mount from the center that points outwards, and that lights up the rear suspension. And then underneath, he's got a couple mounted towards the back of the truck underneath as well. So the whole bottom side of the truck is lit up for night runs. And if we need to, you know, just for any type of reason, if we wanted to see what, you know, underneath the truck because we need to check something or anything, everything's lit up underneath the truck. So it works out really well. Really happy with that. Again, love this truck. It is definitely been a gateway to just doing a lot of off-roading with four-wheel drive and being the main one in the group, as in my little personal group, my family group, which is my wife. She's got a two-wheel drive Tacoma, and then my son's got a four-wheel drive Tacoma. But it helps with this truck because we can go anywhere we want. And I know that we have got recovery, all the recovery tools, jacks, everything on this truck, which is fully capable of going anywhere we need to go. And one of the things too, I'll tell you that we go to 𝗥𝗲𝗿, which is sand dunes, and a lot of people are hesitant to go out to the dunes, swing set, or some of the other destinations that a lot of the razors and quads and other things, you know, sand rails and stuff go to. Some people won't take a truck because they're worried about how soft the sand is, the bowls and everything. This truck in four-wheel drive, aired down, I can point and shoot it any direction I want. As long as it's not from a dead stop at the very bottom of a hill. I just have to have at least some sort of momentum, but that's like a big hill. But otherwise, this thing will really point and shoot any direction I want in four-wheel drive. So really happy with the performance of the truck. It is a 6.2 liter. It is a stock engine. Nothing's done to it. So because I want the reliability of not doing any type of pro charger or top blower from any of the companies that make them. But this truck is plenty fast for me and been plenty happy with it. Four-wheel drive again. So yeah, that's just the updates on this truck. If you guys got any questions, leave them down below. You can follow along on the regular, you know, updates of where I go with the truck on my Instagram and Facebook, really. But other than that, hope you guys enjoy, and hopefully this helps influence you or just helps you want to do a truck just like this. I know there wasn't a whole lot of videos out when I was building this one, and that was, you know, kind of one of those things where I wanted to see what other people were doing and what they thought about them, and I've been really happy with it. So I'm just here to, you know, let everyone know, and again, be a positive influence for someone that wants to do something similar to it, because I really love the truck. If you're on the fence of getting one and doing something similar, 100% I would do it. It's a great truck to have, and we've had a lot of fun with it off-road, and let alone driving it on trips and whatnot. So plenty capable truck in my opinion. Best of all worlds, kind of, for what I want to achieve. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll have another update here shortly. Thanks for watching.